Hello and welcome to The Thrifty Author. I'm your host, Gail Z. Martin, and today we are coming back to looking at social media for authors and coming back to a question that comes up over and over again, which is how do you reach your readers on social media, particularly sites like Facebook and Twitter? How do you reach them? Well, part of this is what kind of content you share. And I know we've talked about content before, but it's an ever-present question because as you're out on social media day after day after day, and of course, being there consistently is part of how you attract people. You can't just show up once a month and hope that people remember you. But if you're going to be there every day, what do you talk about? And so it's not just enough to say, buy my book. It's not just enough to say, hey, look, I'm a writer. You've really got to hook people with a conversation. Now, not everything you post has to be about your book. We've talked a little bit in some of the other episodes about posting some of the things you found in your research that maybe you didn't use in its original form, but is really kind of cool to talk about. Or maybe something that you haven't used yet, but darn it, it's a great plot bunny. If you write things that have a connection to some topic in the real world, posting things about those topics is a great way to bring people to you who like the same thing. So whether that is urban explorers who go through abandoned buildings or people who really like to knit or bake cookies, posting about that kind of content is likely to bring people to your page who go, wow, I really like that content too. And this can be on your profile, this can be in your groups, this can be on your page. Many of us who went onto social media with the intention of being an author first and a private person second, use all of those places to talk about things related to the books. If you have a personal connection going on your Facebook profile where you're really dealing with your true friends and family, then this is something that you talk about in your groups and on your page, and you try to grab people with that common interest and then funnel them into your group where you can tell them more about your books. Of course, doing a Facebook Live where you are at a location and talking about it while you're there live, or just talking about, hey, this is what I'm working on today, maybe reading a couple of pages from a work in progress. Those are all ways to give people a little bit of a sample and draw them closer to you. It can also work to just talk about the business of writing. Those of us who do this for a living forget that it's a little mystifying to people who don't, just like any profession. If you don't do that for a living, you don't really know how it works. And there are a lot of nuts and bolts and gears and belts and all of those things in how a book comes together that, while it's old news to us, it can be fascinating to a reader to know, wow, that's how the sausage is made. That's how a book comes together. So, and of course, you can never go wrong with pet pictures. People want to see your pets. People want to see what you made for dinner. If it's something that looks good and looks like it might be tasty. People want to know what you do on vacation. People want to know all kinds of things, what you're growing in your garden. All of those things help create a connection where you are a person and not just somebody standing on the corner going, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. But how do you connect even more to readers? Well, if you're gathering your e-newsletter, and we'll talk more about that in another episode, by using things like reader magnets, free stories on sites like Prolific Works or BookFunnel or Story Origin, then people are getting added to your newsletter list because they've read something you've written. And if you have a join my newsletter and hopefully join my group in the back of your book, people who have read the book and want more, you'll want to know when you have something new coming out, have a direct way to find that connection. And now you're not just getting random people, you're getting people who are coming for a reason. because they already know they like your writing and they want to find out when the next book is coming out. They want to find out what went into making that book. They want to find out what's going on in your headspace while you're writing these books. So use your e-newsletter and that territory in the back of your books to get your perfect readers, people who have just finished reading your book, to or who have already signed up for your newsletter, to come join your Facebook group, join you on Twitter, join your page, and offer them something. And it doesn't have to be another freebie. It can be, I do a weekly live reading. I do a weekly live discussion. I post pictures from where I do my research. I have a cute dog, and you'll see a lot more of him if you join my page. Different things resonate with different readerships, but that's the way to bring people in, where you're not just randomly inviting people or hoping that somebody stumbles across your group, your page. You're really building what in the non-publishing industry is called a sales funnel. You're building funnels are big at the top, where you reach a lot of people, and that can be your reader magnet in something like Prolific Works, where it goes out to thousands, tens of thousands of people, and a subsection of those people click on your story because they want to read it, and that automatically signs them up for your newsletter. Now you've got them, they've read a short story, they signed up for your newsletter, they didn't unsubscribe. Now you hit them in your newsletter with, and this is the next book coming up, and hey, this is what I'm working on now. And by the way, this is the convention I'm going to be at. And hey, if you want to hear all the news first, in between my newsletters, come join my Facebook group or follow me on Twitter or come to my page. And a smaller percentage of people will follow you there, but they're going to be even more committed. And that's what we want, is that the people who do follow you those several steps go from being, yeah, they write good books, I kind of like them, to, wow, I never want to miss a new release, to, I got to follow this because this is just great. And that's what you want, those 1,000 true fans, as people talk about, but people who are really excited about what you have to offer. And that's the procedure to bring them down that path, so that you can spend more time with them, develop more of a relationship, and in the process, let them know what's coming down the pike with a new release. So it's a little insight into how to gather the right people to your social media sites. We'll be talking more about social media coming up soon. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you online.